So now we actually don't have a table. We don't have ordered pairs. We don't have the graph pre-made for us. What we have are a set of equations. To tell whether or not a relation is linear based on an equation, we need to look at the graph. In order to graph this, we could do this by hand, which is somewhat of a waste of time, but yet still a relatively useful tool, or we can rely on the technology of the graphing calculator. So if we do that, to graph an equation, we have to go to the y equals menu, which is up at the top left, the small blue button. If we click on this, we see the menu that's presented. We can enter up to 7 different equations at a time, but we're only going to do one. When we enter the equation, we don't need to enter the y equals. The calculator already has that for us. But we do need to enter the other side. So negative 3x plus 25. And we press the graph button at the top right to actually see what that looks like. So we'll sketch that out. This will not be exact. This will be a best guess based on what's shown on the screen. We'll answer question 2, so press y equals again. We need to get rid of this equation. To do that, the easiest way is to press the clear button. It's just below the arrow pad. We'll type in the next equation, 2x squared, and the squared button is just diagonal from the 7, like that, plus 5. Press graph, we'll see what it looks like, and sketch it out. Go back to the y equals menu to do number 3. Clear out what's in there. We have y equals 5. So we do y equals 5. Graph it. And sketch again. Our last equation. If we go to the y equals menu on the calculator, we can see we don't have an option for x equals. This requires us to do this by hand. Equation 3, y equals 5, what that means is that we go up to 5 on the y-axis, and we draw every possible point that is 5 units up. Likewise with 4 means we go to 1 on the x-axis and draw every point that is 1 unit to the right. That ends up being a line, but unlike 3, which was a horizontal line, 4 would be a vertical line. So we can use the calculator as a tool in some instances. In others, we have to rely on our own knowledge. We can deal with question B now. Which ones of these represent linear relations? Well, we need to look at the shape of the graph, and do we get a line or not? So 1, that is a straight line, so that is linear. 2 is definitely not a line, it's a curved shape. It's actually called a parabola, and much of the focus on Pre-Calculus 20 is based on parabolas, but for our purposes, this is not a linear relationship. Number 3, we have a horizontal line, but nonetheless it is straight. This is a linear relation. And 4 as well is linear.